Well, good afternoon. You're with Michael Crosby. Well, guess what? There is some things I just have to say. I mean, I just look at a little bit of the broadcast news here, and wow. I mean, wow. This is amazing. You have all these situations. You got the threat of government shutdown ongoing. People have asked what my viewpoint is. I'm a bit busy, but my viewpoint is that I've done decades of research in mass economic modeling. So my solutions are completely different than any of these people. So I can't step in and say, yeah, I'm with these people or that people. I'm a standalone. I'm a standalone. I believe I'm steps ahead. To me, it's as though no matter which way I look, it seems like what I'm seeing hit the table is thinking that is still too small. Because I'm looking at comparative resource structures that have to be dealt with. This means that I'm looking at, if you combine China and India, and you've got 2.8 billion people, and you look at the size of the legislatures that they have, it's enormous. It's enormous. So there is a manpower problem in the United States when you look at it. I'll try to get some images up here so you can compare and understand how many more legislators are addressing problems and processing paperwork, how many assistants, how many offices, how many leaders, and it's enormous. You look at China, you look at India, it's enormous on the processing. And China, by the way, is just getting ready to totally integrate massive AI capabilities. And again, that's part of what I've been researching for years, is to have a counter system. So, when I was proposing $4 to $6 billion a year as an emergency measure to bring, funding into emergency understanding, we got to deal with economic modeling software. We need $4 to $6 billion a year. And this was in 2005 when I was starting the campaign on that issue. And I was laughed at. So now we have a situation where last time I did my somewhat intensive, it seemed like the Chinese clearly had spent more than $185 billion, that's with a B, $1 billion on mass economic modeling software. They were all checked into the association of that. So they're going to have mass computer power. They already have far more legislators. It's just a massive figure. And so, your efficiency rating is enormous because they're putting in AI software systems where they're going to put multiple computers in. And each one of these people that is going to be working with the solutions for their representatives, their leaders, all their staff there. These people are going to have the efficiency of 1 million plus people, and it's just going to skyrocket. It's going to go from 1 to 10 million, respective to the AI assistants that they have, that assistive tooling. So that's something that I've been working all along on getting done. And of course, people attacking archives and destroying that research, or at least, that area of research was also affected. This is a problem, certainly a problem. I'm completely a standalone. I'm so far different that it's mind-boggling. I'm set up the most powerful tooling assistance that our leadership is going to need. So that means I'm going to be working with companies. That's the theory. That's the idea. That was part from the very beginning of all of my campaigns. So whoever has computers is going to basically get a piece of that kind of action. So I'm going to stop for a moment because I could go on and on for weeks because I'm completely different. My ideas of efficiency are different than what I'm seeing and what's hitting the table. Completely different economic system. Let me go to something else here. We got something, again, New York. We've got this guy that supposedly assassinated this medical executive professional guy. And I'm looking at this, I'm counting heads, I'm counting people, and in one day, this is mind-blowing, in one day, there's 100 people that you could readily count up that in in this one day, in like an 8 hour, less than 8 hour, basically in about a 4 hour period, there's like 100 plus personnel devoted to supposedly protecting this one guy, the apparent assassin. And I'm like, this is despicable. This is ridiculous that this kind of manpower would be required. I mean, this is despicable. What kind of example does that set for people in this nation to look at a guy in chains that needs 100 people to facilitate his protection, his control? I just, it just like you have, I guess he had some, you've got some small amounts of protesters. I believe there was 6 whole protesters that showed up outside the court. So, there's, this 100 plus people that you can see, this brings about, this is despicable. I mean, the kind of money, the waste here, mind-boggling. This is something, what message are citizens supposed to get out of this? Yeah, look, this guy is in chains. He apparently assassinated this health professional executive that was apparently under serious investigation for major crime by the Justice Department, being, connected in all kinds of various items, according to the web, if you research it. But the justice system moves slowly, right? It moves slowly, and then all of a sudden there's you see a situation like this, and it's prompt too. We're going to address this right away. Massive waste of manpower. And people, here we got a government shutdown fight. People are talking about there's an efficiency problem. What kind of example does this set to the American people to see an example of, these people, we're going to see over 100 people in 4 hours just surrounding this guy. Look at the manpower there. And you got people saying, the government's wasteful. Wow. I mean, the government doesn't provide enough security for candidates running for office. And now all of a sudden, look at what we're seeing right here. Is the message clear? And say, we protect our rich people, whether they're criminals or not. I mean, is this the message that is being sent by law enforcement? Is this the message that New York is sending? We're going to find you and track you down. We're going to spend enormous amounts of money. We're going to spend $100 million. We can't let somebody get away with a crime like that. What is the message here? I mean, is there a manpower problem? What about when 500 people were being rejected on claims? Even though the government's investigated them, fined them before for denying claims. I mean, can you imagine 500 people in pain, horrible pain, week after week, month after month? They're going to die if they don't get certain treatment, and that means the policies have to pay. So these people are in horrible pain. Where's the manpower to investigate 500 people versus the manpower that we just saw today committed in a 4-hour period? This is shameful. The signal that government is sending to the American people. This is a blatant example of grandstanding, a blatant example of massive financial waste. It's just undeniable. This guy's in chains. This is absolutely ridiculous. They're going to go through this whole thing. Gee, why didn't you just use the chopper and set down on top of the one of the police high rises that has, like a heliport on top, where it's already a secure location? Come on. Should somebody say this? And the media, look at how much time the media has been focusing this massive effort. Let's get a manhunt going. This guy's assassinated somebody. $100 million ends up getting spent by various factional, subfactional, law enforcement, media, etc., in 3 to 7 days, easy, on one guy. Of course, I'm the guy that says, well, let's use SAR satellite technology. So we record everybody anyhow, but the data's stored. But in order to work the data, you need a lot of computers to sort it. So it's expensive to use these computers to sort material, so you only have a limited amount of live focusing on the raw mass data. But you can rework all of the data if you have enough computers, except the cost of reworking that data, following the dot, setting the permanent example to say, look, if you commit murder or violent rape, there's going to be no escape for you. Because the technology can catch 9 out of 10 people. And I'm going to tell you, it's nowhere anything near what we just saw spent on one guy. One guy. The system that I'm talking about is to have somebody run an operation, tracing the dots. You're talking about a $300 an hour cost. And what did we just see? Where's the efficiency? Where's the logic? This is lunacy. This is despicable. This sends a blatantly discriminatory statement to citizens of the nation, telling them, oh, well, we don't have any manpower available. We don't have any resources for you. But we got plenty of resources for rich people. Now look at that payroll out there. Is that rich guy paying for that? Is that rich guy paying for the cost of that situation? No. You're paying for the cost, and you're also the ones being denied resources. The Justice Department is not an equal servant. This is a clear example today, and people around the country are disgusted of watching all of this media material around one guy. Look at this massive waste. It just reinforces people's brains that the government is incompetent financially and is wasteful. Instead of spending the money on technology that would be basically permanently with us, that we could utilize, that would also be, well, like a unicog. Trace the dot. We got a location, we got a dot, it's a person. They committed a homicide or a violent rape. With SAR technology, we can deal with different locations and approach that same data. That system stays with us, but no. We got people who want to grandstand and waste money. Instead of investing into something that is tactically the logical decision. And it's just despicable. It is so blatantly obvious that there is clearly the clear intent of discrimination. What a confirmation. How despicable. New York should be ashamed of what they just showed. They should be ashamed. This is despicable. That kind of blatant waste. I just have to say something on that, because you have to look at it and see that it's just ridiculous. Thank you for your time.